camera.
Yahoo!
Yeah, no one else is here though.
Happy New Year. 2026, the year of knitting sticks. I've been saying Happy Knit Year all weekend.
Happy 2026. Sounds like I have a lisp, but it's 2026.
It's 2026. Welcome to Lunch with Linda. I am Linda Daniels, and you are now inside Northampton Wools.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Sally, and all of you guys, and Sally's husband, Mike. Hello. There are a lot of husbands out there that watch at the same time as their wife, and when they come in, it's so much fun to hear them say hello like they know me. But they do now, especially with my name tag on, right? Which is not on today.
We'll get there.
It's a quiet day. Everybody is recovering or back to work, back to school, back to routine, including us. And if you are anything like me, the new year usually signifies clean out, clean up, reorganize, get going. And sometimes, like in my house, it can be pretty overwhelming because truthfully, I have 2 full rooms of yarn and paraphernalia and books and my knitting machines and all kinds of stuff. So I have to approach my entire house little by little by little. So last night I was cleaning out 1 tub of odds and ends of yarn underneath my desk, separating it into projects that were started and never finished, and bits and pieces of yarn that need to find their way into another bag. Anyway, it's a big process, and it's not only home, it's here as well. And we're just really trying to make the store the best that it can be. We are constantly moving things around, cleaning things out, changing things up. So you'll see a few things changed around downstairs as we really make that a special place, a place that you might even want to sit and knit for a while or shop the yarns that are downstairs. It's going to stay basically what it is, the baby yarn, machine washable yarns, and then a sale yarn section. And we are beginning to gather, collect, and figure out what yarns are going to be on sale for our clearance sale. That will be starting next week, and I'll tell you more about that on next week's podcast, because that's when it will officially begin.
Eileen, 2 things. Mike says hi back.
Hey, Mike.
And Eileen says, I can come help you organize.
Eileen threatens that all the time.
It's a threat?
It's a threat.
Oh, no.
It's a threat. I'll say it again. She could live, I could live with Eileen, but she could not live with me.
So
We're
funny.
just 2 best friends, best, but 2 completely different styles. I like my stuff around me, and Eileen likes it labeled. Anyway, we love each other. Thanks, Eileen. But I don't think it would work. Even I'm aghast at the mess I've made. That's not really what I want to talk about today.
I'm sorry, it was a comment.
It's absolutely, no, don't be sorry. I want to hear the comments. Every single Monday I come in thinking, I don't have that much to talk about. And then before I know it, the table is full. So let me quickly dive in. We have, if you have not noticed, we have partnered with a young woman who is putting together these really neat cross-stitch kits. I think I did show them once before, but every once in a while we get a new one from her, and this is one of the new ones. I can't open it though, right? It's all taped shut. So nice and neat. But everything you need is in here except for scissors.
Oh.
The hoop is in here, the pattern, the fabric, the thread, and the needle.
The hoop is
that
in
you
there.
need. The hoop is in there too.
Oh, yeah, it says it on the box.
Yep. And they are really cute. They're $24, and we are constantly adding just a couple
Sweater weather.
just a couple of her new designs. She has a very active Instagram post as well, so she's always showing what her new patterns are. But we've got a few of them. So if you're looking to maybe reclaim your cross stitch skills from a long time ago, or you want to add another craft to your already growing set of craft skills, we can help you do that. This was one of the things that I used to do a lot
Really?
of, cross stitch.
It seems
Yeah.
soothing. It's like
And they're
pick
not
by number, kind of.
Yeah, exactly like that. I don't think these, from what I remember from seeing the open one, I don't think they're stamped on the fabric. It is counted cross stitch, if you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about. I also, with all the holiday rush over now, there were certain things that I noticed our customers asking for this year that kind of took us both, Kate and I, by surprise. One of them was leg warmers. Last year in February, when we did the Academy of Music movie,
Stitch and Flick.
we did Stitch and Flicks, and they were showing
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing, one of my favorite movies. We put together leg warmer kits back then. Nobody really jumped on board. Now, we probably had 4 people randomly come in and ask for leg warmers, if we had them already done, if we had patterns for them, and what could they use to make them. So I'm going to dig out all of those leg warmer patterns, maybe update a couple of them with yarns and things from today. So if you've got probably teenagers, college age kids that are looking or asking or thinking about that, we'll be able to help you create them. I think during yesterday's Patriots game, I saw the cheerleaders at one point. You know, they never really show the cheerleaders that well. It was always like in the background. But I think it was the Patriots cheerleaders had on big, white, furry leg warmers.
Oh yeah, those
like
are
boots.
so fashionable.
They weren't boots, but
Yeah,
they were
on
just the
top of
leg
it.
warmer.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all over the place, that big furry look. So leg warmers was one thing.
I'm a big fan of leg warmers.
You do. Where
I-
you have them
I
and you...
do, but I need to make more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 2 ways to wear leg warmers. You can make them so that they stay up, or you can make them so that they slouch down.
Yeah.
Guess it just depends on what kind of look you want.
It's like I've been trying to figure out a way to have a leg warmer that I can take off without taking off my shoe, but that doesn't have like heavy buttons or like fiddly. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll figure that out.
we'll have to see. I can't imagine making something that will come on and off a shoe, though, but we can try.
Not on and off a shoe, but just so that I don't have to push it past my dirty shoe. If I want to
Yeah.
take it off if I get inside.
Yeah,
Like maybe like little I-cord ties or something.
that would be cute.
Yeah.
The other thing that people asked for has started a discussion here in the store, and we want to hear from you. We had a number of people ask about a knitting journal. Well, first of all, I am a notebook queen, and I can't imagine actually buying something that is specifically a knitting journal because I already have a bunch of empty notebooks that I could use. But in thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute, we could create a page that basically you could download from our website that would help you keep track of what you do over the course of this next year. And Becky shared with us that she has several journals, collections of the things that she's made over the years, and she simply does that. She has a 3-ring binder. Binders was what she said. And she has those plastic sheets, and in the plastic sheet, she puts the label from the yarn that she used and any information, maybe a copy of the pattern or a picture of it. So this next week or so, we're going to try to put together create a knitting journal page. So if you have something specific that you want to include on that, let us know so that we can. I was thinking that you want the name of the project, you want the name of the yarn and all of the information about the yarn, you would want the needle size that you used, the pattern and the designer that you used, probably where you bought the yarn, because that's important.
Where you can get it again.
And where you can get it again if you run out, or if you really love it and want to do something else in it in another color. A place where you can put the pattern information, the designer's name, and then the dates of when you started and maybe when you finished. And I am going to try to do something like that myself. I've never really done it before. Even though I love keeping track of stuff, I don't keep it all in one place, and I don't do a good job of actually tracking everything like that. And this year I'm going to. But it's already January 5th. I've already finished 3 things, and I haven't written a single thing down. So if you're like me, maybe you'll start. It's definitely my New Year's resolution to keep better information available. I used to journal when I was young, like a diary. And I always imagined, this is from a book that I read, imagined being dead and my family finding these journals and reading about my life from inside, not just from the outside. Maybe I'll get back to that. There's things now that I wish my mom was around that I could ask.
Yeah.
That I probably did ask but don't remember the answers to.
It's cool to have
Isn't
those.
that the way? It's fun.
And,
So
any way that helps you stay organized is the best.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to sit and write things down, but I'll take pictures.
Yeah. I mean, we use our phones for so much too. You could
Yeah.
do a computer, a
Yeah.
digital kind of tracker. And let me know if any of you actually do that. Who of you out there does take the time to do that?
Yona says she uses the knitting journal to write everything plus Ravelry, and then another one with whips and UFOs.
Nice.
So that's a lot of...
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ravelry is a great place to do all of that, and a really easy place to do all of that, because you just type in as much or as little information as you want, and it's always there. I know Bonnie does a great job of putting everything that she finishes up on Ravelry when she's got it done, and I always admire her for that, because I haven't touched my Ravelry. Exactly. If anybody looks at mine, they'll be like, this person never knits.
I mean, it's because you do so much.
But yeah. Anyway, those are the 2 things that we noticed a lot of people asking for, more than normal.
Oh, here's a good addition for the page that we could write down. The size of the item you made.
Oh, yeah.
And the length, the width of the Afghan, and how much yarn you used.
Perfect. All of that information is
How
great.
much yarn you bought and how much yarn you
actually used.
That's kind of cool in case
Yeah.
you want a stash dive for the next time.
Yeah. Very good. Thanks. Thanks for that. That helps a lot. Another quick reminder that the sign-ups at the Hill Institute are this weekend on Saturday. They start at 8:30 this time. 8:30 to 10:30 is when they're running. And I teach crochet up there on Wednesday nights from 5 to 7. And this semester, we're going to be doing sweaters. It's a little bit too late because I didn't bring them in, but I will show you next week 3 of the sweaters that I've done for the class that people will be doing in that class as well. So there's lots of classes. You can look up the Hill Institute online, find out what kind of classes are offered. There are knitting classes, there's woodworking, there's painting, there's photography, what the schedule is, and pick a class and come, because it's a great place and a really great adult education center that deserves to continue. And I love working there. The people there are great. One of the funny stories that I wanted to share with you this weekend is a customer that came in to get some more yarn for a project, new yarn for a project. And when she came up to the counter, she looked at me and said, I saved so many lives. And I looked at her and I went, oh, are you like an EMT or something? She said, no, by knitting. And I was like, what? She said she had to be on a heavy dose of steroids for about 6 months for some reason, and it made her insane And she said the only reason I still have a family is because I was able to knit my way through all of that mess.
She called it rage knitting.
Rage knitting, exactly. She said I rage knit my way. And she had on several things that she had made, which were beautifully done. She didn't feel like they were as perfect as they could be, but that didn't matter. But I just got such a kick out of that because she was so vocal about how much knitting had meant to her and how much it had gotten her through. And you know, again, here we are needing that space, that time, that peace, that centered kind of satisfaction within ourselves. So pick those needles up, boy, because we really, really are going to need it a lot. To help you with that, just in time, we are so darn excited and happy to be able to tell you all that we are now carrying Noro yarns. Now, I hope many of you know Noro. They have been around for a very long time, since I started knitting way back in the 80s. They were the first company to come out with these multicolored, highly multicolored yarns. And Curion was the very first yarn that they did. Now they have a range of yarns, and we have two of them. This is Ito, which is a really big skein of yarn. There's 437 yards in each skein, and it's done, calls for anywhere from a 5 to a 7 needle. And the colors are amazing.
Yes.
Really amazing. It is 100% wool.
Now this one.
This one is great.
Gosh. Electric.
And it is made in Japan. And the problem or the difficulty with it is that we get what we get, and we can't always get it again right away. So I'm really happy that, oh my God, this color is amazing.
This color is amazing.
Look at that.
This is my color, and that's Mariana's color when we were stocking it.
Yeah. So we get what we get. We can't always get more. And so I'm just going to grab whatever they've got in stock. This one, the sales rep was really nice and actually sent me 2 skeins of this color way before we were going to be able to actually get it in stock. And so I was able to knit with it. And this is one of the 3 things that I actually finished this last night during the football game. And this vest took 2 skeins of the Ito. And since I just finished it, it has not been blocked. So it is a lot of knit 2 purl 2 ribbing with a baby fake cable in it.
A baby fake alpaca.
I don't even know why I was thinking alpaca, but a baby fake cable in it. And when it's blocked, it's going to be much boxier looking than it does with the rib. And I had enough yarn. The neck was the last thing that I did. And I was like, I don't want any of this little half skein. So I just kept going until I ran out of yarn. So I was able to do a really big turtleneck on it.
I love that.
I love it too. Love it, love it, love it. So I will be writing the pattern for this up because like I said, I did it in the round up to the underarm and then split. But this cable pattern is a very easy stitch to do. And basically it's just knit 2 purl 2 through the whole thing, except for that little cable pattern. 2 skeins of the Ito. They come in bags of 5. So we have enough of each color to make 2 of these, or enough if you want to buy 3 skeins to put sleeves on it. Because at 437 yards, 1 more skein would be more than enough to do sleeves, even in that pattern. What?
You think that cable is easy enough for a baby alpaca to do?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
If they had opposable thumbs, yes. The other yarn that we're really happy to have from them is Silk Garden. This one is 45% silk. That's a lot of silk in there. 45% mohair and 10% wool. And when you look at this, if you've knit with Silk Garden, I have not yet knit with Silk Garden. Let me know, does it bloom a lot? It is a much softer yarn than the Curion. That's one of the complaints about the Curion. The Curion looks very much like the Silk Garden, but it's 100% wool, and it's kind of rough and itchy. But the silk in here really softens this one up a lot. And it's going to knit color-wise and look a lot like the Ito does, that kind of sort of a stripe, without really being like unique and striping. But boy, the colors are just exquisite. And it's the same thing. We get what they have, and so we grab it as soon as we can see it. I can order, like, I know that when we initially ordered it, I ordered a lot of colors. They'll drift in. So we have 6 colors of the Ito right now and 5 colors of the Silk Garden. There will probably be more. Noro, as a company, publishes a pattern book I don't know if it's every year or every season, because this is kind of new to us as well. But I'm sure on Ravelry, there are tons and tons and tons of projects for both of these. I think we only got 10 skeins of each of these in.
Just the one bag.
So this only has 110 yards in it, so there's just enough in 10 skeins to make a long sleeve sweaters, but I know that there's a bunch of hats and scarves that you could use as well. It's been around for a long time. A lot of people love it, and we're really happy to finally be able to offer it to you guys, and we'll see what happens with it. All right, so you know that I've been doing this for a very long time and love it, every single minute of it. And there are moments in my life here in the store that remind me of how happy I am, and I've been calling it and thinking about it all weekend of synchronicity. There's a lot of synchronicity that goes on in my personal store life, and this is one of them. And it's a little bit more of a story. When I was purchasing things for our window display, I accidentally purchased a polar bear outfit, one of those onesie outfits in white. I thought it was a blanket, but it was a polar bear outfit. So that's sitting in the back of my head. What are we going to do with this polar bear outfit? It doesn't fit anybody. It doesn't even fit any of my grandchildren. And I knew that the only thing we could possibly do was use it in the window. Then Pantone came out with their color of the year, which was Cloud Dancer or white. And I thought, all right, polar bear is white. We can stuff it and we can do a white window. And in anticipation of doing a white window, I went through a bag of white ends, half balls. There were a couple of full balls, but all kinds of white yarn. And in that bag, there were several, you would call them gauge swatches, but they're sample squares of stitch patterns. And immediately I thought of, instead of just doing a sweater, using those squares as part of the sweater. There were 3 or 4 squares that I could use, and I knew I would have to make more, so I started to do that. And I've been designing and creating since I started working at Northampton Wools. And so the very first thing that I went to is my stitch dictionaries, which I absolutely love. While I am putting this sweater together, the news reaches me that Barbara Walker had passed away. She passed away right after Christmas at the age of 98 in Florida with her son by her side. If you do not know or have not heard the name Barbara Walker, I'm not surprised. I had the honor of meeting her one time, and she was the tiniest woman with the biggest influence on the world of knitting that probably most of you don't realize. She is the inventor of slip, slip, knit. Before Barbara Walker talked about slip, slip, knit in her book, which I'm going to show you in a second, we were doing slip one, knit one, and pass the slip stitch over. Even Elizabeth Zimmerman credited Barbara Walker with inventing slip, slip, knit. She is also the inventor of top-down knitting in the round. We all think that it's a new thing, it just came out, but in 1970-something, I'm not sure of the exact date, Barbara Walker published one of her 8 knitting books called Knitting from the Top. It's been republished, and not lately, but it was republished with all of the sweaters redone, because originally the sweaters were so ugly nobody wanted to even own the book. If you ever come across it, please let me know. I had my hands on it one time way back when it first came out, and I was like, no. But she is the reason we now can do top-down circular knitting so very easily. She has written, let me get my paper out so I'm sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 knitting books. Most of them, or all of them, are not sweater design books. They are stitch dictionaries. They are filled with all kinds of stitch patterns. And every single one of these samples was knitted by Barbara, photographed by a friend of theirs, and her husband helped her with the layout and all of the directions. Now, she did 2 things. She collected patterns from, people who knew her, or knitting groups or things like that. Now, remember, this is the first one, the Treasury of Knitting Patterns. This was published in 1968. And you can see how much I have relied on this book by how dangerously close to falling apart this book is. I have used all of her books over and over and over again in my own design career, as have many, many other designers as well. Well, she not only collected a lot of these designs from other people, but she invented them. Again, Elizabeth Zimmerman credited her with creating over 1,000 different stitch designs.
What?
I mean, the possibilities of knitting patterns is infinity. You can think of all the standards, but when you think about what you can do with knit and purl, it just goes on and on and on and on. And we are seeing people create new stitch patterns. These 7 books that Barbara wrote are all stitch dictionaries. From this very first one, A Treasury of Knitting Patterns, then came this was 1968. In 1970, she published an even thicker book of the second Treasury of Knitting Patterns. Then she went on to be more specific. She created a 4th Treasury of Knitting Patterns. She wrote a book of charted knitting designs. She wrote mosaic knitting. I think she was really responsible for taking a very tiny little idea of mosaic knitting and creating an entire book of mosaic knitting. And it's the same thing, it's just charts. She was not a sweater designer. You will not find sweaters out there that have her name on it, but lots of knitting patterns. You have to own the book. They are not designs that you can find on Ravelry. They have not been digitized at all. Knitting from the Top, and then 2 Learn to Knit books. One of them was Learn to Knit by Knitting an Afghan, and basically the Afghan is a bunch of squares of different stitch patterns that teach certain techniques, so how to increase, how to decrease, how to do yarn overs, how to do mosaic knitting. I checked on Amazon. Almost all of them are available, but some of them are down to the 1 or 2 copies left, because since she passed away, people are grabbing them up when they can. And her hardcover version of Knitting from the Top, the new and improved one, is selling for over $229.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
on Amazon.
Oh my God.
A treasure. I am so happy that I own them all because I still use them today. I used them when I decided to make this all white sweater for the store. I went to my Treasury and filled in with a couple of stitch patterns that I needed to do the cuffs of the sleeve. This is the baby cable pattern that I used for the vest. This is a slip stitch pattern from her book where it looks like a cable, but it's really done just by slipping stitches.
Cool.
This is double moss stitch, which you will find in one of her books. This was one of the squares that was already done. This one is a little gull's lace pattern. So I used those squares, there's another one right there, and then created this basic white pullover on top of it. And because I used up different yarns, I just didn't care what I grabbed. You can see all the different colors, which I think is appropriate for a white window. All the different shades of white, from almost yellow to starker white. It's a lot of fun. This is going in the window, and I was pleasantly surprised at how well it all came together, and it actually looks like a sweater that you would wear. On the back, I had almost a full skein of yarn, which basically I was able to use for the whole back, and then put the squares on them. I actually picked the stitches up and then knit from there.
Cool.
And just finished it all off like
A
that.
lot of people are thrifting sweaters and cutting them up and putting them back together in a different way.
Or taking the yarn apart and using it again.
It's very on trend.
Well, that's what I meant by the synchronicity. As I started an idea, and I feel like it came full circle all the way around with Barbara Walker's passing. The other thing that you should know about Barbara Walker is the reason she did books like this is because she had an intensity and a purposefulness. She didn't just ever scratch the surface of anything. She went full in, and this is the result of her deep dive into the craft of knitting without actually knitting a sweater. I don't know, I'm sure she knit herself a sweater, but she did all of this work and then went on to the next thing. And if you go to Amazon and look at her books, you will see that she has also written books that are mostly about women and women's culture. She was a fierce feminist, fierce. So her books are about women and symbols in women's lives. She has one book called The Crone about the later stages of life. Her son said she journaled every day as she knew she was ending her life. And she also designed a book of tarot cards. No. She really dove into it. And she was an atheist as well. So a lot of what she wrote about was related to patriarchy versus matriarchy. I got those words out.
You did.
An incredibly interesting woman. The books are exquisite and treasures, and
Shelley says that many of her books are available at the Forbes Library.
You can take them out.
Or in the Mars system. So that, I think.
Oh, CW Mars, yeah.
Yeah, CW Mars, if you have a card. I think that's how you get to Libby.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to, I mean, you're not going to sit and go through all of this. It's not really a reading book, but it is definitely a treasure that you could because she's also broken them all down. So it's not just random, it's cables, it's lace, it's knit and purl patterns, it's slip stitch patterns. So have fun with it. If you're looking or thinking about making a scarf, what a great way to use the books. Try the different stitch patterns. Find the favorites. As you can see, I have lots of my favorites earmarked over and over and over again. Also, I saw that, I took the thing out, but when I was glancing through my copy, I actually had underlined a couple of things in her Word texts about, because I also have used it for teaching classes to remind myself of stuff. So that's just a really important thing. The other sweater that I have on, not the other sweater, the sweater that I have on, this is also one of the 3 choices for the Cape Cod trip. This is called VAR, V-A-R, and it is done at a slightly larger gauge. The yarn that I used is called Ariado by Plymouth Yarn. It is no longer available, and it's one of those brushed wools, and yes, it is pilling like mad, but it doesn't matter. It's warm and cozy, and I love it. Again, top down, yoked, color work, just in 2 colors, but VAR. I'm sorry, I don't remember the designer's name. It's probably Swedish.
I'll link it.
So I can't say it anyway, so. So that's it. So this week, like I said, on Saturday is Sign Up at the Hill. Friday, I'm actually teaching a class in a top-down yoke sweater. I'm not sure that there might be 1 or 2 spaces left in that. If you are interested in a class, check the website often, because we are adding classes almost all of the time. All right, it's supposed to be, and it is winter, but it's supposed to get warmer this week, and we're supposed to have a chance of snow or ice or rain almost every single day.
Yikes.
We'll be open Wednesday through Saturday. We're open for 2 more Sundays, and then again, inventory day at the end of the month. We are still gladly accepting volunteers for all or part of that day. And I can't decide yet if we'll have pizza or bagels. We'll see.
Pizza seems a little messy around
I
here.
know.
Huh?
I know. You don't want it all over your hand. Okay, that is everything that I have today. So I hope you enjoy your week, and please go knit something. Bye.